Today is day 6 of our 12 days of gifts, and today we're going to be making some placemats. This is another beginner-friendly project that you guys can absolutely do. It's very similar to the coasters that I showed you guys in the last video, but there are a few things that I wanted to point out and a few things that I do a little bit differently on these placemats, so I wanted to share that with you. Of course, I have some really pretty fall placemats and Christmas ones, all different kinds of fabric and fun colors. One of the favorite things I do with all of my products that I make is the design of it. So I figure out what goes with what colors work well together. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do is figure out what would look really well. And in this case, I have these really pretty pumpkins, and then I have this really nice fall design on the back. So for these placemats, you're going to need a front piece and a back piece, obviously, for your placemat. And those you're going to cut 13 by 19 inches. So 19 inches wide, 13 inches tall. And that's going to allow for about a half an inch of seam allowance all the way around. So you're going to end up with 12 by 18 inch placemats. You're going to also use some fusible fleece. This is Pellon or any kind of batting. If you want to use batting, totally fine. I like the fusible because I can actually fuse it to, and here's where I'm doing it. You fuse it to the fabric, so it's not going to move around any. So I really like that. You can also, if you want, you can use batting, but then I would recommend actually quilting your fabric on. And that's just going to be extra steps, which if you're a fan of quilting, go ahead and do it. Absolutely up to you. But basically, you're going to need a front piece and a back piece for this project. So here's my front piece and here's the back. Now I'm going to put those together, so face down, right sides together. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew this all the way around, leaving about a 2 to 3 inch space to turn it out. Now, some people are having trouble. They say they don't sew straight. What I just do is I wanted to show you guys a little bit close up. I use the actual foot of the sewing machine, and I put my fabric up against the side there. So I know what to look at and how to feed it through. So I'll just go right up against that side. Now, what you want to do when you get to these corners is make sure you're turning them without leaving too much extra. See, I'm noticing, oh, I need to do one more stitch, and that'll get me that exact piece that I want. So I'm trying to do about a 1/4 inch seam allowance because I'm putting it right up against that edge of my, my foot. So here we have it all sewn up, and then just like any other project that you're turning right side out, you're going to go ahead and clip those corners because you don't want the bulk in there. And you're going to do, here comes the magic where you put your hand in. This time I actually left myself enough room for my big fat arms, and I was actually able to get it through no problem. My hands fit in there perfectly. So then you're just going to push out the corners. And I didn't like the way that this was lying. I wanted to go ahead and iron it because I felt like it needed to be flattened a little bit. I wanted the creases to be nice and crisp. It also helps if you iron it at this point in your project because that'll help that piece that you have left open. It'll help it lay flatter. So you'll be able to you'll be able to sew that shut much easier. See how it doesn't really want to go together? Sometimes when you pull the pieces that's still open, you pull it taut, it'll want to lay flat. In this case, that fusible fleece is kind of getting in my way and not wanting it to lay correctly, so that's why I'm using the iron here. So then I just clip it shut and I do the same thing. Now what I can do on my sewing machine is I can actually change the width and move the needle around a little bit if I want it closer to the edge or further away. I decided to keep it right in the middle, the normal size. So I'm just going to, again, use that edge piece of my, my sewing foot to just go straight down. So here you see, yeah, I'm just going to do that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to close this whole thing back up. And when you're done with this, see, that's the opening. You want to make sure it gets nice and close there because you don't want to go too far in, like too far towards the middle, because you're not going to be able to close it completely. Now you could be done with this if you wanted to. Put your coffee on it, all great, no problem. It's sewn perfectly. But what I like to do on mine is, and here I'm showing you on this other one, I like to give it a second round of a top stitch. And because I don't really have a way of seeing it well, I just put some painter's tape down. And what that's going to do, it's going to give me a nice line. So instead of using my foot, because I want to go further into my project, I'm using this line to line it up, and then I can sew straight down the line. I can just feed it right through here. So that's why I have the tape on there. It looks funky. It's a total, low-tech way to do it. If you guys have, cool rulers or whatever it is, go ahead and use those. But this was just a nice, easy way for me to get that secondary line on the inside, that second one further in on my project. So I like it because it gives it a little bit of a neater finish, and it gives it a little bit of a design. Now, obviously, you can do what you want here. If you want to do a little bit of a different stitch, if you want to make it fancy, if you like a little bit of a zigzag or whatever, totally up to you. I like the straight stitching. I just like that, it gives it a nice clean look, in my opinion. But if you like to do it differently, absolutely go for it. I just want to let you guys know these are available in my TikTok shop down below. So go ahead and click those. I have these and a bunch of different fabrics as well available. I also have the corresponding coasters that match these available in my shop as well. So here you see again, side by side, the differences. Those are when you make it double, if you do it twice, and here's where you just go around once. Either way is fine. I just wanted to show you guys what your options are. So if you want to make them on your own, go ahead or buy from me down below.